Ladies and gentlemen, listeners of Bluesmoose Radio, I'm talking through the wonders of the world on the other side of the world with Emanuel Casablanca, aka the bad boy of blues. And it's going to be a busy time for you and an excited time because in early November you're going to release your new album,
Yes, yes, Jubilee.
Jubilee. How excited are you?
Extremely excited, Rob.
You're, I have the record a couple of months already. I noticed that you're pretty strict worker. It's not until the last moment. You're planning ahead if you record something.
Yeah, yeah. Look, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, Rob.
How excited are you for this album? Because I've heard it, and I let's say I hear that you're still evolving in the blues. You're not standing still.
Yeah, no, I just want to put out music that I feel good about and that I enjoy playing. Like there's nothing worse than recording music that you don't enjoy yourself and then putting it out there and you're not really excited about it. So um yeah, I'm still a student of the genre. I still criticize Um, and yeah, I just want to put out stuff that I feel good about um, and that I want people to hear.
What um, catch my eyes are the song titles and the lyrics also. If you're gonna release an album where the second song is "Dick in My Hand," you won me over.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a very interesting story behind that song. I actually recorded that song about 14 years ago,
Okay.
and I sent this song to a guy. I'm not sure if you know Betty LaVette. Do you know who Betty LaVette is?
I've seen her live a few times.
Oh yeah, yeah. So Betty's great. I met Betty about 14 years ago. I was playing Big Ed's Blues Jam, and she walked into the Red Lion on Google Street in Manhattan, and she performed. But something very odd happened. A guy got on stage and performed with her, who was her husband, a guy named Kevin. And I spoke with him a bit, and then a year or two after that, that's when I recorded "Dick in My Hand." And I sent him the song, and I was like, I actually sent it to him because I wanted to get Betty on that song. And I was like, could we? And Kevin's managing Betty at this time. His response, he emailed me back, and he's like, never sent anybody a song called "Dick in My Hand." And he's like, that's And so for years, I was very like, I put that song on a shelf. For years, I was, I felt I was like, this could never what am I thinking? It's like I thought I did something wrong. And I was looking at the Rich Music report, the radio charts just the other day, and like "Dick in My Hand" is being played. Like people are, it's charting, and I was like, well, I guess people do like to hear "Dick in My Hand." But look, if you like something, you put it out there. There's somebody out there who'll like it.
No, that was in the former albums. You all have funny lyrics and funny titles in it. And how difficult is it? You talked that there's a song that's about 12 or 13 years old. How difficult is it to end up a song that is ready for recording? I can guess it's always need a little fiddling and twiddling around. When is a song good enough to record?
Yeah, no, no. Well, look, I think you should record things as soon as you feel like you're finished being done with it. But the recording process is a completely different process in the songwriting process because once you have that recording down, you can play with that song for years. Like you can work on that song for literally, some people days, weeks, months, years. There's the Rick Rubin book, A Creative Way of Being, where he mentions that no piece of work is ever really done. We just eventually get to a point where we give up on it.
Well, I can understand that in a certain way. But it's also a trend for I've seen Joe Bonamassa do it. Kenny Shepard is doing now to take the first album and recreate, re-record it, and put it out again.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's what this album Jubilee is. It's actually a collection. There's about 3 or 4 new songs on this album. All the other songs were recorded over a decade ago.
Okay. And is that what are you most proud of? The new ones of the old ones that you finally been recorded?
I'm most proud of the older ones because I developed the confidence to be able to release them, like songs like "Dick in My Hand," getting past my own thoughts and theories about it and being able to release it. But also, for me to be able to put it out there, there was a time. I feel like every person who creates anything, you get to a certain period of time where it's like, oh, that's the old stuff, and you're excited about. It's like, what's your favorite song? The next one. Like
Yeah.
every songwriter, every musician, they're always excited about the next new song that they're writing or working on. And so when I'm able to sit back and listen to songs like Dick in My Hand and Pistol, I recorded these when I was extremely novice songwriter and performer, and to be able to sit back and listen to it and say, hey, you want to know what? I actually did have something back then. You know what I mean? This wasn't like I was good. I was good. The song was good, and it's like worthy of being released. So yeah, I was talking to Paul Howes, who co-produces all these songs with me, and yeah, we were both like, we had it. We nailed it the first time around. We did. Um, but yeah,
Yeah. I can imagine that sometimes the lyrics will change in over time, you know. That can be,
yeah,
but the
yeah.
base of the song, if it's good, it's good. Um,
It's good. It's good.
I listened to the video that we did a couple of years ago, and I want to hook up with some things that were playing then. You were sort of busy in a blues movie. Is it finished
Yeah,
already?
yeah. That got scrapped. That
Oh,
film got scrapped. Yeah, yeah. There was a financing issue. They were looking for some more money, and the filmmakers did not get the money that they thought they were going to get because from what I heard, it was one of the businesses was affected by, I guess it was like the after effects of COVID, where they ended up losing a substantial amount of money, and then they weren't able to finance that
yeah,
film.
it's too
So,
bad. Was
uh,
promising.
yeah, it was promising. Yes, I was looking forward to that, but it didn't happen.
And what about playing live? You were then playing live, and you had the good of heart to give all the revenue to a very good cause
Yeah,
of different causes.
yeah. I've still been doing that. Not every show, I still gotta make a little cash here or there. But yeah, I partner and work with a number of organizations where I do perform and donate proceeds, ticketed revenue to nonprofits. As a matter of fact, I'm playing a show at Park Theater on Halloween on October 31st. With Tommy Stinson from The Replacements and Guns N' Roses. We will be playing a benefit in Hudson, New York, for Greater Hudson Promise, which is a nonprofit with a plethora of programs to go back and serve the community.
Is it a good live scene in New York nowadays?
In New York City, you'll always find some really good jazz clubs. If you're into it depends. I feel like if you're not used to it, yes, it's a very good scene. If you are a music connoisseur and you like to go out and you were on that New York music scene 10, 15, 20 years ago, probably not. It's the rawness of the live music scene doesn't really exist anymore. Those clubs that were there that kind of define, like, especially New York City rock and roll, Cake Shop, Googie's Lounge, the library, the living room, all those places, Knitting Factory, all those venues that you fell in love with and wanted to go see upcoming and new live talent. That you know a lot of great bands came out of New York City, the Strokes, and contemporary bands, not just like the old rock and
Yeah,
roll, but
yeah.
like the Strokes and TV on the radio, and Great number of blues acts, Saron Crenshaw and what's her name from Harlem? Can't think of her name. The blues singer Betty LaVette. You know, all these great acts. The places that I met them, the places where we used to play, the places where I learned how to play the blues and rock and roll and jam. Like none of those places really exist anymore. Jazz will always be a staple in New York City because of the Harlem Renaissance. Even though a lot of jazz clubs have shut down, there's still a handful that you can go check out. And there's still some decent music, but it's all become corporate now. You know, they're all owned by like Bank of America or something. You know, it's not like, yeah. So for me, no, the music scene sucks in New York City. But there are, I think it would be good for some people. There's areas around the country where the music scene is incredible. Chicago is one of those cities. You'll always have an incredible music scene. Los Angeles actually has a really great music scene. Still, you know, the city of Los Angeles kind of values entertainment more than most cities. But Atlanta is a great scene. Areas in like Mississippi and in Texas, there's great live music in all of these places. Can't forget Memphis, of course. Beale Street Blues. So,
Yeah. Last year we visited America again. I was invited to MC a music of a blues festival in Omaha, and that was also for us to go to Chicago and going up and down the Mississippi to look where the origin of the blues was. So we did a blues tour and
yeah,
all those. So just see with eyes what environment it is, and that's still a good blues show. It's less than it is than it was, and what caught my eye is that Nashville was booming 20 years ago. That was a lot smaller than it is now. And
yeah.
Memphis
Nashville.
stayed the same about.
Yeah, yeah. Memphis is the same. Memphis is the same, but Memphis was incredible then, and it's incredible now. When it comes to the music scene, Nashville, it's gone through its phase. It's definitely puts its attention and focus on music and all kinds of music. It is
Yeah.
very, very big.
A lo-
Yeah, you know this.
a
Yeah,
lot of the rooftop bars and all that stuff.
yeah,
Right?
yeah, yeah,
But um, you mentioned the name Sarah Crenshaw, and he met a guy who was from Holland who was living in New York, and he said, "Bye, man, you have to come to the Netherlands and Europe." And they put him over. Now he's a couple of weeks, he's back over again to Europe. Ever had any
yeah.
plans to do the same tour, the mainland
Yeah, I
in
used to go
Europe, I
to
mean?
well, yeah, no, I would love to. I need to find a new promoter over there to work with. Promoters that I've worked with in years past, um, who where I did play over there. You know, life happens. You know, time goes by, and you don't necessarily have those relationships anymore. But I would definitely love to get back over and play. I know people are reaching out quite a bit, asking when and if I can come play. But yeah, I would need to meet a new promoter and someone to talk about it. Yeah, Saron is a great. I love Saron Crenshaw. I met him when I finished college. I used to go see him at Terra Blues all the time, and I would go after the last set, and they would he and sometimes Bobby Rush would be there, along with a couple other King Solomon. Uh, a bunch of New York cats who played the blues. They would all be in at Terra Blues, and we would all jam late nights. There used to be a bar called Kenny's Castaway we go to after Terra Blues. Kenny's
Okay.
Castaway, it's not there anymore, but we would go there. It was literally right next door, and we would go in and we would jam until the sun started coming up, you know, and
Well,
that was like how
that's a
we
different in
started.
age because I did an interview with Kenny B. Shepherd a couple of months ago. He did a tour with Bobby Rush, and I couldn't believe he was 90.
Bobby Rush is, yeah, he's old. He's
He
older than
was
Buddy Guy.
There was
Yeah,
so much energy on stage. It was remarkable.
yeah,
But
yeah.
nevertheless, Emanuel Casablanca, who gave you the name Bad Boy of the Blues, by the way?
Oh
Every
man,
every nickname should be given and not be taken.
yes, 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 yes. That was who called me that. I used to work for a record label, a hip hop label called Bad Boy Records, and I when I worked there and I played the blues, there's a guy named Sean Prez, a music executive, and he was actually the first one. He said, if you're going to be bad boy, then you're going to be bad boy. He said, if you're going to play the blues, then you're going to be bad boy of blues. So that was kind of how that started.
I think it's a good one, nevertheless. But now, Jubilee, early November. Which songs we don't we shouldn't forget to put on our radio show?
Pistol is
I
probably my
take
favorite.
Pistol and the second one, Dick in my hand, are also all always on it. So
Yeah, yeah.
give me a few other ones.
Jubilee is a great song. Jubilee itself, the title track, I think it's a great song. It's a very simple song, but there's a build up in that song that I really love. So yeah, make sure you play that.
I will take care of that. No problem at all. And oh, I see you almost time. I see you still in the car and this beautiful weather in New York.
It is gorgeous. Yes, it is. It is. I got a beautiful woman sitting next to me, and she's probably very. You want to say hello to all the people listening? Or, no, she doesn't. She's being shy. Yeah, she's. It is what it is. Yeah, beautiful weather here. How's the
Yeah.
weather over there?
Emmanuel, thanks for this conversation. And this weekend, I'm gonna put it on the air, and I'm gonna put it on the colleagues of Blues magazine. So it's not only our website, but another extra. That's a lot more exposure than just us. And I hope that it brings you something. And I ended the last time with saying, maybe we see each other live sometime in Europe. I will be there.
Sounds good.